probably at every high school there was this group. There was the group of like cool kind of throwbacky kids who were really good at music, and they were really, they knew how to play Pinball Wizard by The Who, just without having to really learn it. There was a hippie cool group at my school, and I left it after that. And so it didn't feel weird to have weird taste in music. It felt like it made you cooler. I remember this was the first post of yours that I ever commented on in 1000 Songs, which was because you posted Dear Mr. Fantasy.
Yeah.
And seeing just the name of that song was such a clear lightning rod back to this point in time in my life that I remember, you remember those infomercials for compilations of the hits, all the hits of the 60s, 70s, or 80s, or whatever it was. And that was one of the clips that they had purchased the rights to play in the infomercial. And in hearing it, I became obsessed with the song. I didn't have any money, so I couldn't be buying this thing off a TV that was, $300 in total. So saved up, and next time we went to a record store with my parents, I went to go and try and find it and bought the wrong album. I bought The Birds because it had Mr. Tambourine Man on it, and I just dropped the plot on the name of the song. Came home so excited. I think that was my first ever CD, was the wrong CD, was The Birds. Played it and was like, well, this is good and all, but this is not, it's too catchy. So eventually I got the actual album, and I loved it. The whole album was very weird. Like, that song is like the Ballad of High-Heeled Boys. That's not quite the right name. But a lot of like flute music that I wasn't expecting. I got a little bit sad listening to Elvis, but not the good sad, not the like I want to be sad kind of music feeling, because of my mom, because she was so into it. And she also later couldn't listen to it because of how upset she was when he died. She remembers having my sister be newly born, and she was holding her in the living room when the news came on the radio that he was gone. And she basically just could not listen after that. And for her, that was her teenage formative identity. She grew up on a farm in Bruce County, Ontario, and, had that version of these like black and white teeny bop magazines and the old original records of Elvis, and it was it was her life. So she, like, through most of my life, couldn't listen to him anymore because she was just too upset about it. So now that for me is all tangled up in my mom. Like a couple of years ago, I had to curate the music for my dad's funeral, and it was a mix of a lot of Herb Alpert.
Nice.
Which the funeral director was like, oh, great, because I think they get a lot of requests for classical music. Mm-hmm. So they were very, very happy when we supplied them with that to play, during the sort of mingling around part, like kind of,
Mm-hmm. A Brazilian thing.
Yeah, a little jazzy. And then we played a Grateful Dead song, which I know my dad did not care for at all, but for me, I was like, this is what I need to hear. And the lyrics felt really right. And then we played what I think I would consider to be his favorite song, which again, I don't know the name of, but he used to do rally car racing. And so he was part of like this, Corsa Corvair club, and they did rally racing, and he was big into it. And they made this edited slideshow of shots from the car club. So it was all these people in like bell bottoms and smoking and hanging around these like old cars. But at the time it was not retro. At the time they made it, it was current. But it was set to the song. The lyrics go, "Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day." And there's also laughing during the song. Like I think it might be performing live. Mm-hmm. And so we played that at his funeral.
Nice.
Yeah. When we're younger, we listen to music as the main activity we're doing. Mm-hmm. That is the focus.
Right. And
as we get older, we tend to listen to music while we're doing other things, which is not a bad thing, but it's definitely a shift, and that feels like a shifting of intensity.